Yeah, I was poor because I came to the United States and we lost everything. But I was the youngest employee in the Federal Reserve Bank at the age of 17. You know, I was an honor student. I went to school full-time, and I worked at the Federal Reserve Bank full-time and went to school at the University of Miami full-time on scholarship. And I never done drugs, didn't drink all the alcohol. By the age of 20 that I drank fit in a teacup that size.
Till today?
No, I love my wine today.
Okay.
So, you know, I do.
She's validating that.
Exactly, she's validating that. But, you know, I can tell you what I did for 4 years, every day of my life. I got up at 5:30 in the morning. I was at the bank at 6:30. I worked till 3:30. I got home at 4. My mother had dinner. I leave the house at 4:30, 4:45. I had my first class, University of Miami, 5:30. I leave at 10:30. I go home and I study till 2:30. I did that every day for 4 years.
So your mom eventually came to Miami?
Yeah, my mom eventually joined us about 7 months later.
7 months later. So you were 11 years old when she came to Miami? Okay.
As a matter of fact, right before I turned 11 years old, I was still 10.
So you're now, you're going to school, you're an honor student, you're very systematic, you have discipline, your mom and dad have taught you strong values, mindset of you're not poor, mindset of standing up for yourself, don't be weak, you're strong, respectful, all of these things your parents have taught you. So your trajectory at this point is what? Who is Jorge Valdes going to end up being at this point?
I had a clear vision. I would graduate from Miami at 20. I'd take a couple of years to work, save enough money. I go to law school at 22, 23. I graduate from law school at 25, and I'm going to be a millionaire at 30. Because if I'm not a millionaire, I'm a nobody.
That's how you're seeing it.
And that was my whole world. And nothing would deviate from that. I had a little girlfriend that I would see very, very seldom. And if we ever went, we hardly even went to a party, and I smelled pot. Now, remember, this is the 70s, which is like, pot is like alcohol now.
Flowers, yeah.
Oh, Nettie, I got to leave. I'm a federal employee. I can't, you know, are you crazy?
Got it, yeah.
I got this few, I didn't have a traffic ticket. I didn't have anything in my life. And that was the whole thing. And then.
So I'm going to be a lawyer by 30, millionaire, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a lawyer by 25, millionaire by 30 is what I'm going to be doing.
Because if I'm not that, I'm nobody.
Okay, so your identity, sink or swim. That's it. I'm not playing small. I'm going to go do something big. And this is 30 years old in what, 70s? Like early 80s?
76, no.
76, okay.
Yeah.
So now what happens where you get introduced to this life?
So at 76, my accounting professor, he had left from Michigan. He was a partner at Price & Waterhouse, came to Miami, and didn't speak Spanish. So he's like, hey, George, if you come work for me and do my Spanish clients, I'll give you secretary, office, everything to start your business. And to me, that was like heaven opening up because I wanted to be on my own. I mean, I thought I had a heck of a future at the Federal Reserve Bank. Me and the vice president of the Federal Reserve Bank office were the only two that they paid tuition to go to the University of Miami. Everybody else had to go to a state college. So when he told me that, my father, very conservative, you're crazy, stay with the bank, you have a hell of a future. My mother, you'll never be nobody working for somebody. So, you know, my mother was everything in our house, like most Hispanic mothers. And I resigned, and I went to work for him. And the first client that he gave me was a little grocery store in Miami, like a little strip joint, not a strip club.
Strip joint. Slightly different. No poles and strip.
A little different.
Makes sense.
Like those shopping centers in Miami, right?
Totally get it.
I mean, like, I don't know, 10 feet wide, 15 feet wide, 40 feet deep. And it was a little grocery store. And I go there Monday. I'm supposed to go every Monday in the morning, couple hours, and pay me $1,000. Right there, I'm going to be rich. $1,000? I mean, I'm making, minimum wage is $85, $95. I'm making $350 working for the bank. I'm a big shot, you know? $1,000 for 3 hours? Oh, man. So I go there, and they have a little office in the back, and I go, and I see this paper sack. And he had like $100 and some odd thousand. And I'm like, wow. I look around, no way this grocery store produced that. I thought, well, maybe they haven't made deposits in a year. I don't know. No clue. Zero clue what's going on. Do my accounting, go to the bank, deposit the $100,000, boom, show up next week, $75,000. And I'm like, no, there's got to be something wrong. So the only thing I could think of, there's a shelf, and I never forget, it had a can of Campbell's soup. And it was dusty. It's been sitting there for a long time. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to put a V on top of that can. I want to see if this can sells. Because I'm coming back next week, and now I'm like getting a little suspicious.
What a thing to do.
But think about this now. Suspicious that something's going on. The least of them all, if they gave me 100 choices, I would have chose cocaine as the 100th of the choices.
Got it.
Of what was going on. Remember now.
How were they as people? Just regular people? And when
Just regular,
yeah.
regular Colombian, pretty wild, you know. I remember one time he got mad at the wife, so the wife gets out and gets a big old piece of ham and throws it at him at the store, and then he takes out his gun, shoots the ham, and puts it back in the counter. I'm like, wow, these people are a little different than I am. So
you're 20, 21 at this time?
No, I'm 20.
Okay, got it.
I'm 20. It's 1976.
Okay.
I just left the bank. And so do my accounting, go back, and the next week when I come, there's another 100,000. I'm like, no, I need explanation. And I never forget, I called him in there and said, bro, let me give you a little accounting lesson. You see that can of Campbell's soup that's still there because I put a V on it and it hasn't gone nowhere, it still has the V? Well, if that can is $1 and you sell it tomorrow for $3, you have generated $3 worth of income and $2 worth of profit. So here's the problem. I've deposited close to $300,000, and yet the receipts for all you bought don't add up to $1,500. What gives? You think that they would like come up with some, they looked at me and they're like, oh, yeah, this is nothing. No, we're drug dealers.
They just told you.
I mean, just like that, we're drug dealers. We sell cocaine. Now, let me go back.
At least they're honest about it.
Yeah. In the 70s, cocaine does not have the stigma that cocaine has and should have today, right? In the 70s, it was for the rich and famous, the Hollywood celebrities. I mean, you could buy a gorgeous house in Miami, 4-bedroom for 40 grand, and a kilo of cocaine was 60 to 70.
So if you like this little short clip from an interview I did, click over here to watch the entire interview. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.